The Big Blind Ante format is being used for the first time ever at the World Series of Poker in 2018. The $100,000 buy-in No Limit Hold'em Super High Roller will go down in history as the first WSOP event to have the Big Blind post an ante for the entire table. Card Player TV caught up with Jonathan Little, one of the players in the field on day one of this event, to get his thoughts on the new format.
The idea behind the Big Blind Ante is that it speeds up the game, right? We have one person putting in the ante instead of 8 or 9 or 10, and that's usually good because the game goes much faster. I think it's a great idea, and it just lets you play more hands. I mean, you want to play as many hands as you can. It effectively makes the structure better for free, so that's good. I love it.
8 bracelet events and a number of other tournaments at the Rio this summer will feature a Big Blind Ante. We asked Little for his advice for players trying out the format for the first time.
When there's a Big Blind Ante, the game is essentially exactly the same. The main difference, though, is that this ante size per person changes. So say you're playing 100-200 with a 25 ante like normal, the ante size is 250, right? If there's 10 people at the table. But if there's only 5 people at the table, it's 125. Whereas with Big Blind Ante, it may be 200 across the board. So if you're playing 10-handed, you should actually be a little bit tighter. And if you're playing 5-handed with a 200 ante instead of 25, you should be significantly looser because the antes are bigger and you're fighting for more money, especially when you're in the blinds. The fact that you are posting the big blind when you're in the big blind doesn't really matter. Don't think that that is your money or anything like that. Just realize that it's in the pot and you need to defend it appropriately.
We followed up with Little on his last point regarding big blind defense, asking him if he thought it was more likely that players unfamiliar with the format would over-defend after posting both a blind and an ante.
I definitely think a lot of the players who are new to the format may think that if I put in that 200 ante, that's my 200, and it's not. It's the antes, right? Just pretend like it's antes in any other scenario. The fact that you put it in on this one hand is completely irrelevant. And really, it doesn't matter who even puts it in that much. Like say the player in the cutoff put in the ante, and it doesn't make a difference. So don't over-defend it. But at the same time, especially if you're playing a short-handed tournament, realize that the antes are going to be larger. If you're playing a 10-handed tournament, realize the antes will often be a little bit smaller than normal.
Thanks to Jonathan Little for sharing his thoughts on the Big Blind Ante and the format's debut at the WSOP. And thank you for checking out this video right here on Card Player TV.